Welcome back. For 2 years, from 2016 to 2018, Dr. Amani Ballour ran an underground field hospital in her hometown of Eastern Ghouta near the Syrian capital of Damascus. It was known as the Cave. And as the war above ground raged on, Ballour and her colleagues did what they could, even though food and medical supplies were restricted or even forbidden. Ballour's journey is featured in National Geographic's documentary by the same name, The Cave, which airs on the channel at 9 this evening. I spoke to her. Well, Dr. Amani Ballour joins us now via our Skype line from Berlin. Dr. Amani, again, thank you so much for talking to us here in South Africa. There's one quote from the many articles that have been written about you since The Cave, and it says, and these are your words, "I just wanted to study and be a doctor and have a clinic. That was my dream." Tell us about that dream, how it started, how it unfolded.
Thank you for having me. Actually, I wanted to study. That was my dream, and to be a doctor. And I started studying, and I wanted to be a pediatrician because I like children. Then I started, after I graduate, I started study pediatric for just a few months. And then the Syrian revolution started, and the Assad regime started to kill people, to besiege us, to bomb us. And of course, as a doctor, and people need me because there were a lot of injured people and sick people. They need doctors to help. I decided to stop studying and help these people who are in need.
And even these dreams of yours, this dream of studying to be a doctor, of specializing as a pediatrician, you were pushing against a very conservative reality.
Yes, because we have a conservative community in our in Syria, and especially in countryside of the cities, because people have a special image about women, that women should stay at home, have children, and work in the home, clean and cook. This is everything about women in our community. And actually, my sisters, I have 3 sisters older than me, and they got married very early and have children and stay at home. Although they want to study, but they couldn't. That's why I struggle a lot and insist to continue studying, because I want to change this image about women. I want really to challenge the men and prove that women can do more.
Absolutely. And you were telling me in your first answer about, you know, when the protests against Bashar al-Assad, when it started to reach a tipping point, and this is also some of the research that I've done on you since the documentary The Cave. That first patient, that 12-year-old boy, take us back to that moment in your life.
Yes, this patient changed my life because he was child. He was very little child, and they shot him just because he was walking next to the demonstration, and they killed him without sin. And I saw this child, and I saw the other people who they were shooting them, killing them, and they besieged us, my area. I'm from the Eastern Ghouta. They besieged us, prevent food, prevent milk for children, for babies. They prevent medicine, prevent everything. We don't understand why. We just ask for freedom and human rights, human dignity. And I saw all these things. I saw that the innocent people are suffering. And yeah, this is what happened in Syria. And a lot of doctors flee from this area because of bombing and hunger. And that's why I decided to stay, because people need me.
Yeah, and that's a line that you also talk about in The Cave. There's the one line where you say, you know, these are innocent people, and you talk about not understanding why this is happening. These are people who just want to live peacefully in their homes, go to school, go to work, and come back peacefully to their homes. We were able to see a preview, we saw the premiere of The Cave here in South Africa, just a select group of us, just last week. It airs for the first time here for the rest of the country on the 8th of March. And I have to make a confession, Dr. Amani, I couldn't sit through the entire documentary. I couldn't sit through the whole production of The Cave. It was so incredibly harrowing. But that was your life for such a long time. This constant flow of thousands upon thousands of patients, children, warplanes overhead, constant airstrikes. Just give us a sense of what that was like. It sounds like such a basic question, but how did you operate in that kind of environment?
Yes, it's really not, it's not movie to me. It's my reality. I lived there, and as a doctor, I worked in underground hospital because they were bombing hospitals. They were bombing everything: shops, schools, primary school. They bombed primary schools, and yeah, I was working underground in dark hospital, in dark place. It didn't supposed to be a hospital, and I saw a lot of dead bodies. A lot of children are suffering. Children were hungry, and children died because lack of food. Children died because lack of medicine. This is the real life in Syria. I know it's hard to know that, and it's hard to see that, but it's important because this is still happening now, and this is our problem. That's why we are frustrated and very angry of the world. We are humans, and we want all the people to see that around the world because we need help. Now, millions of Syrians are suffering. They are under bombing. They are hungry. They are dying because of coldness. And everything's still happening. 9 years ago that started and still happening now. This is very shame on the world. And that's why we did this film. We want the people to see that. We want to make pressure on politicians to stop killing Syrian and to help them.
Yeah, and you had so many difficult decisions to make. As you say, resources are so limited. There is no food. There's no medicine. The medicine that there is, you need to make some very difficult decisions in those moments. How do you do that?
Yeah, it was very, very difficult. It's not easy. I was burning, and because it's not easy to decide to give the food, because sometimes the UN entered just some food for thousands of children, and we chose the worst child to give him the food. And this is very difficult to see all the children are hungry, and you want to choose one to give the food. I was burning. It's very hard, but I need to make this decision and to give this food for a child. And for medicine, we have the same situation. We need sometimes to choose the worst case to give medicine. Sometimes we choose to give the bag of blood because we have very little blood bags, the fluids for some patients. Sometimes when we found a very serious cases and don't have a hope to live, to survive, we decide not to give the bad blood. This is very, very hard as doctors. Yeah. I think we live in the most difficult circumstances in the world.